Great morning, great morning, great morning. It's 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Time for the It's About You radio show, WDRBmedia.com. I'm your host, Maurice McDonald. Listen, each and every Tuesday morning, I have the opportunity, the pleasure of being here on this platform. I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted to share information designed to motivate, to inspire, to help you be the best you can possibly be. And it's with that thought in mind, I start out every morning with this information, sharing the motivational quote of the day. This motivational quote of the day is brought to you by Pearl Cleage. Pearl Cleage, and it says, discomfort is always a necessary process of the enlightenment. Discomfort is always a necessary part of the process of enlightenment. So if you're feeling discomfort, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm very uncomfortable, I don't like doing this, I feel nervous, you're in the right place. You're in the right time to get up and go do what it is you're supposed to do. For example, if you want to lose weight and you feel uncomfortable, you feel the pain, oh, my leg, my back, that's not the time to go sit down. That's the time to keep doing what you got to do. Being uncomfortable, coming out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is your broke zone. And broke doesn't always mean money. But some people are broke because they won't come out of their comfort zone. There's no growth in your comfort zone. They call the chair lazy boy for a reason. Hello, lazy boy chair, okay? Come out of your comfort zone so you can go to a higher heights to do the things you're supposed to do. Some people perish for lack of knowledge, but that lack of knowledge is me staying in my comfort zone. I feel uncomfortable. Somebody offers you a great opportunity, but it's disguised as work. Okay, it comes to you in overalls. It comes to you in work that you got to do. And because it's not an instant lottery for you, you run from it. But yet you're complaining. Some of you have been praying for opportunities. Some of you have been wanting opportunities. When the Creator delivers it to you, it's not like you want it. And you can, I don't like doing that. Oh, that don't taste good. Listen, come out of your comfort zone. Discomfort is always a necessary part of the process of enlightenment. So somebody needs to hear that today and step out of that comfort zone and walk into your greatness. Your greatness is waiting on you. But you can't sit back and start making excuses. It's hard. Make moves instead of excuses. And that is important for you to understand and for you to hear. That has been your motivational quote of the day, brought to you by MauriceMcDonald.net. Go to MauriceMcDonald.net and learn all about all your amazing gut microbiome. That is so important for you to understand that. And so with that today, listen, you know this show. If you know anything about me, you've been listening for a while. You know I've had 3 amazing careers as a law enforcement officer, professional school counselor, and now college professor. I've been educating, helping people, and serving people, public servant, for 4 decades. And I come across people all the time. And this show is designed to get into your ear and hopefully into your heart so that you can make those moves you need to make and not make those excuses. And along the way, you know, I love networking with people. I love meeting people. And every now and then there are people that will come into my spirit. I will meet them and our spirits will align. And sometimes it happens very quickly with people. See, if you're in the right place you're supposed to be, a sign will come real quick. Also, you also know a sign if you're not supposed to be there, if you're in tune in with the spirit, okay? Well, my guest today is a woman that I met at an event, going by, networking event, and I happened to go by her table, and we had about a 15-minute conversation. And with that 15 minutes, I said, oh my gosh, I got to meet this lady. We got to talk some more. And of course, as a man, I'm always very particular when I approach women to talk and those types of things. I want them to know right above that my intentions are above board at all times. But I got her card and we talked, and she had a book there and she was sharing some things that just resonated with me. And I said, I got to get her on the show. And with her schedule, she's so busy, and I managed to get her on the show today. This is a woman that is, first of all, she's a woman of God. And she's a woman that she has a family. She's a professional woman, okay? And she kind of made some decisions that her family came first. So with that, I want to introduce to the show Miss Jada Grandy Mock, okay, M-O-C-K. Hello, Miss Jada. How you doing?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Oh, I am fantastic. I am your company, and so guess what? That makes me better because we've had several conversations, and each time, for me, it's like, ooh, she's dropping nuggets. And so, with that said, I love it. I love it. If you would tell my audience a little bit about who you are and the name of your book and those types of things.
Sure. I'm Jada Grandy Mock. I am an author, a financial services executive. I am a compassionate capitalist, but more importantly, I am a wife, I am a mom, I am a daughter, and a child of the Most High God. I am so excited to be with you today. I will tell you that I've oftentimes lived my life under three premises. Number one, authenticity, because everybody else's job is taken. I can only be Jada, and there's only one of me. Number two is integrity. I always want to make sure that I operate in ways that honor God and honor my legacy that my mother and my father and my ancestors have created to me, because you all do know that there is power in a name. Your name absolutely matters, and everything that comes with that determines how you will live your dash and what you will be known by throughout your life. And then lastly is resiliency. I am a firm believer that we can always overcome our circumstances and our environments. Our environments are not ones that others have chosen for us, but we can actually create the environment and the life that we want to live for ourselves and create success on our own terms, which is why I wrote Success is in Your Reach, which is really a story about my life. It is transformational life lessons in love, in leadership, for people, and particularly young adults, and I would just say people in general, that are seeking to rise above their circumstances and thrive. Because I am a firm believer that success is always in reach. It is just how we look at it. This book was just really determined to empower people to transform their mindsets, boldly pursue opportunities, lead with authenticity, improve their financial health, love yourself. Yes, we talk about self-love in this book, and others well, because in order for us to love others well, we have to love ourselves well. And then lastly, live a happy and fulfilled life. And I wanted to just really create a legacy, a story, because there's so many Jadas out there. And as I was going through my own journey in the season that I was in, as I was going through infertility, and that's a story for another day. But it was a time where I started to think about legacy and what I wanted my legacy to be and what legacy could look like. And at the time, I started to think about what would I leave in this world, or what nuggets that I can leave in people, not necessarily to people or for people, but what are the things of all the wisdom that I've garnered through my entire life? What are the things that I can leave in people? And this book was born out of that, as an opportunity for me to create legacy for people to know that success is in your reach, and no matter what your circumstances are, you can always overcome them.
Wow. Yeah. Ooh. Now, my audience, I know you see why she's on this show today. She dropped about 15 nuggets. So y'all better pull your feet back, because she's dropping gems now. And the first one I want to go back to, you said the word, and it just resonated with me when you mentioned the dash. Everybody knows the day you were born. Okay, the day, if somebody asks you when you were born, you know what year, what day, and those who believe in the zodiacs and all that kind of stuff, I'm Capricorn, you know all of that. But what you don't know is the day that you die. And on all the obituaries, there's a dash. The day they were born, sometimes they say sunrise and they say sunset. So the question is, are you going to live the dash? The dash. Talk a little bit about that dash when you said that.
We all go through life, and oftentimes we think about what impact that we are making. And I'm a firm believer that every single day we get the opportunity to make a choice. We can choose to be on the demolition crew, which is the crew that tears people and tears things down, or we can be on the construction crew, which is the crew that actually provides opportunity to lift others and to lift things and lift people throughout our lives. And I've always been a firm believer that it's not really how you start, but it's how you end, and everything that happens in between. And that dash is everything that happens in between. What are those things that you want people to say about you when you're not around? What is the impact that you want to leave in this world, whether it's your responsibilities and all the spaces and places that you occupy? Because we all have different spaces and places that we occupy. And your dash will consist of different spaces and places in different seasons of your life. So as a mom, I want to make sure that my baby today, who's 2.5 years old, that he will go through his life and he will know that mom was loving, mom was God-fearing, mom worked and worked really hard. She operated with integrity, and she gave me lessons in life that money couldn't buy, that helped me to be the best citizen that I can be wherever I choose to live, and that I can be the authentic person and self that God made me to be, and not necessarily comparing myself to who others want me to be, but living and embracing the life that God has created me to be and to live in. That's one thing around the dash. Then as a wife, I want to make sure that I have the legacy that people can look to my marriage and be able to see that is how marriage should be, that it's happy, that it's fulfilling, that it's loving, that it's beneficial. Because so oftentimes people don't always see marriage as a gift, and it is a gift, and it is a ministry. And so I want to make sure that my dash, when we talk about who I was as a wife, is a reflection of good things, is a reflection of patience, of prayer, of support, of companionship, of partnership, of love, and of sacrifice and commitment that I would want my children and my children's children to be able to have a legacy of. And then lastly, who I was as a professional. When I went to work every day, how did I lead? What did I leave in people? What did I do? What impact did I actually make as a professional, as a community servant, as a community and civic leader? Did I live a life that others would want to model and follow after? That's really what the dash is all about.
Yes, yes. So everywhere we go, if I'm correct, hearing you correct, everywhere we go, every aspect of our life, there's a dash following us. What people see,
that's right,
on the job, at home, in your church, in your community, your neighbors. Do the neighbors see, are you authentic everywhere? And then how quickly you are to forgive if you hurt somebody. That's part of the dash,
That's right.
Because that legacy, because eyes are watching, your baby is watching you, And I know you had mentioned about your professional career as a financial person. To talk to our audience a little bit about what you did and that profession, how you climbed it up, and what made you decide to step away.
Sure. So I just stepped away from a 27-year career in financial services, which was absolutely amazing. And I got into financial services because I grew up in a working poor family, a single mom who worked every single day, who worked really, really hard to try to make ends meet. And I grew up in a public housing community where every single economic and social challenge existed. I mean, if you were able to see how I grew up, then you too would be shocked that I am even talking with all of you today, and I'm living to be able to share the testimony of how God found me and saw me even when I didn't see myself. And so I decided that I wanted to change that because there were companies and financial institutions that were coming into my neighborhood at the time, deploying capital. And I didn't really know what capital was, deploying capital. And I said, that has to be the answer. There were no shortage of dreams, but there was a shortage of opportunity in the community. And most of the people that I lived around were struggling even to be able to bury their loved ones. I remember when people would pass away and we would have to go door to door with a can, or door to door with a one of those glass jars, asking people for donations because people didn't have insurance. And they didn't have insurance because they couldn't afford it. I also saw where people who had a desire to work and couldn't find jobs. I also saw where people couldn't balance and manage their money, and there was such a dependency on a system that wasn't necessarily created for them to thrive, but it was created for them to survive. And I said, what can I do to be able to change the trajectory of my family and those who will come behind me, to make sure that nobody has to go around with a tin can if we had the unfortunate loss of a loved one, where nobody would be short of having food in the refrigerator, where nobody would have the challenge of walking outside in fear of getting shot or something happening because the environment that wasn't invested in, or that was disinvested in, lacked investment, was not necessarily there. I said, I want to make sure that I get into a profession where I can facilitate and change that. And that's exactly what I did. And so I made a commitment. One of my life's missions is to be a bridge of economic opportunity for others and inspire those others to do the same. I.e., the whole premise is, if I can change the trajectory of someone's life, whether it be through deployment of capital, facilitation of capital, bonding, linking, or connecting someone to capital through my profession, then they can also support someone else. And when you have a ripple, you can have a wave. And when you have a wave, that's when you can actually have change. But it has to start with one ripple. And that ripple was me, as being a bridge to economic opportunity. So every role that I've ever had, whether it was in commercial lending, supporting small businesses, turning dreams into dollars, I understood the role that small businesses have in creating vibrant communities where people can thrive and people can achieve their dreams of entrepreneurship. I also acknowledge where people needed to have the tools to be able to prepare financially for emergencies, to be able to take care of their families, and to be better stewards of the resources that they had available to them. And then also developing innovative ways to deploy capital in neighborhoods that have been left out and left behind. And deploying strategies and helping people and corporations understand that we can operate in the intersection of profit and purpose, and we can do it in an impactful way where everybody wins, where the communities win and the people and businesses that do business there and the people that live there, where the families that live there win, and where our businesses can actually win. Because there are opportunities out there for everyone, particularly as it relates to equitable access to financial services. And so I've been able to do that throughout the financial system and in my career, and I am very, very, very pleased and grateful for how God has favored me and blessed me to be such a steward of those types of things in capital, to be able to move communities and cities and even in our nation forward. Mm-hmm. And there comes a season for everything. In Ecclesiastes, it tells us that there is a season for a time and a season for everything under the sun. And so after 27 years, I've decided to just step away for a moment. Life looks different for me now. Even as a C-suite executive It was hard to be able to walk away because everything that comes with it is things that a lot of people see and are like, oh, wow, the money, the income, the this, the that. All of that is great, but nothing's greater to be able to spend more time with my family and reprioritize my life now that I am a mother of Braxton, who's 2.5 years old, and a wife of Lionel, who we've been married for almost 10 years. It really was a good time for me to just step back and to make sure that I am giving everything to them and not giving them what's left. And that's really what did it for me. Is one day my husband and I were talking, and we were in the car, and I was talking to him about my schedule. I traveled a lot. I covered 71 markets in my last role, and I wasn't home a lot. And so we had to settle for virtual conversations, emails, text messages, etc. And I remember being in the car, and he was talking about, you know, we're used to it, Jada. We're here to support you, and we're used to it because Braxton and I are used to getting what's left. And I immediately said, wait a minute, what's left? Let's have that conversation and let's unpack what it means to say what's left. And that's not what I wanted my dash to be as a wife and as a mom. It is not about getting what's left. It's about giving them the overflow that a career is supposed to bring. It is not supposed to be the other way around. The career is supposed to support your life, not your life support the career.
Yes. So you heard your husband say, even though he's very supportive of you and obviously loved you, but he said, we're used to getting what's left. That's a powerful, that one had to, like you said, you had to revisit that statement again, because I want my audience to understand, are you giving people what's left? I like what you said, that people should be getting the overflow. Your family should be, they say, wherever your heart is, that's where you push. You know, and if you're giving people what's left, there are people who focus, and I know men are guilty of this as well, and also society will tell women that if you're not there in your house taking care, if something goes wrong with the child, people love to blame the mama. You know, you let your child walk out dressed like that. Well, where your mama at? Everything mama, okay? Mm-hmm. And so you being that wife, and the idea of saying, wait a minute, I don't want to give them what's left. I'm giving this company, I'm giving corporation, I'm giving corporate America my best. And you made a decision to step away. What was that like for your colleagues or your folks that you've been promoted, you've been able to do some things? What was it like for them when you told them you're stepping away?
You know, first of all, it was shock. It was, oh no. And I've been very, very fortunate and blessed to be able to have left a legacy of leadership, of accountability, of empathy, and humility. And I will tell you, and all of that comes down to the definition, and my definition of what moral leadership actually looks like. It's not the what, it's the how. And I've always been a fan of leaving things in people and not doing things to people. And so it was really, really difficult for all parties involved, leadership, clients, community, and even peers and people that I had the pleasure of leading. It was difficult because they were trying to determine what life at the organization or in the profession, quite frankly, would be without having that example. And I had to remind them that they have become the example. All the things that I have left in them as a leader was not to just have and to just say this is what it is, but it also gives them an opportunity to embrace and to level up and to be able to lead, because you lead and you leave. Remember, everything is seasons. You lead and you leave. And so it's important that while you're leading, that those who are coming behind you, that they are fully equipped to lead when you leave, because nothing is permanent. The other thing about it was just having the courage and the admiration and the support that I got from everyone for me stepping away and acknowledging. That is the biggest thing. How many of us are going through life and we can't acknowledge what we're experiencing? We don't want to acknowledge what we're seeing. We know that we need to do something. We know we need to do something, but we won't look it in the face and call the thing a thing. And for me, the thing was I was out of balance and needed to be more present. And yes, I am still going to work. I am still going to make a contribution to society and be a productive member. God didn't bless me with 3 degrees to not be able to make a positive impact in the world and in the world of work. It may just look a little bit differently because the seasons predicate that. And so they were inspired by my courage.
Yeah.
And I saw some others making some different decisions too.
Yes,
so it's pretty exciting to see the impact that when we take that first step, the impact that it has on others that are watching us.
Wow. And guess what? People are watching. As a matter of fact, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to pick up right there. We'll be right back after this. Did you know all disease begins in the gut? That's right. Your gut is your second brain, guys. It's connected to your liver. It's connected to your hormones. All things start in the gut. That's why you need to get your gut right today with P84. Loved by him. Awesome product called P84. 84 fruits and vegetables organically grown all around the world to help detox every organ in your body, provide all the nutrients, everything you need in your system to get your gut right. Simply go to MauriceMcDonald.net. MauriceMcDonald.net. MauriceMcDonald.net and learn about P84 to get your gut right so that you can have an awesome body. We're back, guys. We're back on the It's About You radio show, WDRBmedia.com. And, I'm your host, Maurice McDonald. If you just joined us, you have missed the great segment. My guest here, somebody who's been dropping nuggets all morning long, talking about her career, talking about balance in her family, from corporate America to author, all kinds of leadership in the financial world, leadership impacting a lot of lives, and that is none other than Miss Jada Grandy Mock, who's here with us. And so, Miss Mock, I want to continue where we left off, but you talked about leading and then leaving, because it sounds like you're saying that, number one, you've left the mark where you were, and nothing stays the same. Change is coming. So you got to prepare people where you are to lead after you're not there. The impact, if you think about it, that's what Jesus did. Hello?
That's right.
He had disciples. And the idea is go and teach. So if we impact the world wherever we're planted, in your church, on your job, in your community, in your family, and leave that legacy that people can carry on. Talk to my guests about that.
So when I talk about leading and leaving, it's not necessarily physically leaving, but it is leaving the mark that you want to have left because you were there. How many times have we thought about, wow, what is the impact that I want to make when I'm gone, beginning with the end in mind? And you lead accordingly, so that when it is time to physically leave, you haven't just left physically, but other things will remain, which is the impact that you've left on people. Whether it is integrity, whether it is courage, whether it is showing them how to lead with authenticity, that they can come to work or they can operate in an environment with their full self, and they don't have to come to just perform and wear a mask, but they can actually be who they are. When we talk about accountability, that we're leaving the importance of people doing what they said that they were going to do, because guess what? Success of the whole is so much better than success by yourself.
Oh, say that again. Say that again.
Success of the whole is so much better than success by yourself. And the reason why I say that is because when we're trying to make progress, so that's why when we talk about leading and leaving, in order to be able to make progress, we've got to make sure that not only are we reaching back to help others, and that goes to what are we leaving in other people to propel them to be able to move forward. If we're not actually doing that as we're leading, we're actually just standing still. Progress of the whole is so much better than the progress of one. So if you're about, I'm just going to lead, and then I'm just going to leave without adding on ... I'm going to leave integrity. I'm going to leave in them confidence. I'm going to leave in them authenticity. I am going to lead with them credibility. I am going to lead in a way that shows that you can be resilient and you can show up as your full self. When you do that, everybody's winning.
Yes.
Everybody's winning. And success is being defined on their own terms.
Success is being defined on their own terms. Wow. And oftentimes people think success is, they look at you, they've heard you, and you have been successful, and you are doing those kind of things. But there are people who don't have the college degrees, but they too are leaders. They too have some impact.
Absolutely.
Right where they are, but they may lack the confidence, and they think, well, who's going to listen to me? But I believe there's a lot of people have leaders inside of them that have not been exposed yet for lack of belief in themselves. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked that question, because in my book, one of the things that I talk about is confidence and how I've struggled with my own self-confidence and my capabilities of being able to sit at spaces and places, because I didn't believe that I deserved to be there. At the end of the day, I didn't have the pedigree. I didn't have the mom and dad that had several degrees. I had never even gone on vacations until I started to go before I got my first job in corporate America. So I didn't even know what that life was like. So I would sit at tables and hear people have conversations, and I'm thinking, well, I don't deserve to be here. And I quickly realized I deserve to be there. But more importantly, it was God's grace that kept me, that afforded me the opportunity to be there, because there was a perspective that I had that others did not have. And it was different, but it was still good. Because these are people that lived a life and have had experiences different than I did, that need to benefit from my experiences to be able to move the business forward and move our families forward. Leadership is about what you do, not the title that you have. And I'm going to say that again. Leadership is about what you do and not the title that you may have. So I'm going to break this down even further. I like having living room conversations with the family. Just because grandma is the matriarch or granddad is the patriarch of the family, they are leaders by title, but that doesn't always mean that those that are also in the family unit can't lead in their own way. Because guess what? I have things that grandma and granddad don't have. I've had experiences that they don't have, and vice versa. So we all need to understand that we all have something of value, no matter if we have a formal degree or if we have a degree that we got from experience. Because guess what? That may not necessarily be a degree that's acknowledged by a degreeing body, but those experiences give you the right and the privilege and the opportunity to be able to teach and reach other people. Your experience are valuable, you are valuable, and have the confidence that what you bring to the table absolutely matters, no matter what.
That is so true. You know, as I said, my third profession has been here as a college professor, and one of the things I come into daily, having students from ages 19 to 65 years of age, and I've got a student currently right now that hadn't been at 37 years since they've been in school. So they're coming in scared, they're coming in struggling, they got caught in addiction to the alcoholism, but now they want to impact their lives, help other people. So there's a lack of confidence. So they start thinking the fears, who's going to listen to me? I'm a nobody. I failed. I messed up. You know, they come in with a lot of excuses and trying to get them to see your life experience is valuable. You are a leader. You can lead. But first, you got to get that belief in yourself. Stop telling yourself that you're a loser because what other people have said or mistakes you've made and then they want to drop out of school. You dropped out before. You can't live a life dropping out. There's some of y'all right now listening. You're not in school, but you've already dropped out of life. You're on a job you can't stand. You show up. You're celebrating your 10th anniversary there, and you don't like it. So, and that's important. Can you speak to that a little bit about how this needs to help people?
Here is one of the things that I always am a firm believer in, and I don't even know who says it, but without vision, the people perish, right? So we've got to be able to have vision, and I will tell you that I had vision early on in my life. My grandmother used to always tell me, you know what, Jada? You don't let this environment define you. You define the environment. So while everybody else is going left, it's okay for you to go right because the environment that you're defining is the right environment for you, not the one that they've created for you. And that goes back into the confidence and the lies that we oftentimes tell ourselves about our capabilities. So one of the things that I talk about in my book is about the vision board, not just a vision board for you, but a vision board for your family. Because a lot of times, a lot of what we feel and think is generational. We may not necessarily realize it, but guess what? Mom was scared, dad was scared, they didn't take risks, they didn't see opportunities, they didn't finish school, they failed, they didn't do something. And I will tell you, pigeons can't see what eagles can.
Come on. Ooh.
And oftentimes when you're flying like an eagle, the pigeon doesn't have your view because it's on the ground. So when you share your vision of what you seek to do, if you want to go to college, go. If you want to excel in your job, go. If you want to make a transition out of that career because it's not fulfilling for you, go. Because you're an eagle that's soaring, and you can't expect other people that are acting like pigeons to see where you're going, because they don't have the same view.
Ooh. Let me tell you, that right there, how many people are pigeons? The pigeons can't see the same view, and sometimes you got to stop telling people your vision.
Right.
They can't see it. If it's not meant for them, the door you're walking through can carry one person at a time. You can't carry somebody. Stop telling people you want to go back to school. Just go do it. Go do the thing.
Go do it.
Right. And listen, I tell people all the time, my students, and the glory of me watching, sitting back, Watching people go across the stage, graduating. When I know their story, they were in domestic violence. They were homeless. They had they were going through chemotherapy. They were taking care of sick parents and grandparents and struggling to go. It took them 6 years to get a 2-year degree or 4-year degree. But guess what? The day they walk across the stage and watch them get their shout on, that journey. And I say, invite the haters. They're not going to come. But invite them to see you come after you've done that thing. So I love to hear when you talk about the eagle. The eagle is majestic. It flies high. But even the eagle got some struggles. And their nest is high in the mountain. They don't build their nest down low.
Right.
And they see from a different viewpoint. And yeah, I love what you mentioned earlier too about when you begin with the end in mind. As I always tell people, see yourself in the cap and gown. Some of you right now, and I want to speak to this. I've got a cousin right now, and I hope she's going to be hearing this. She don't know I'm going to call her out. I'm not going to say her name. She has been working for years in a great career, working for the state, and she mentioned about going back to school. She wants to do something, but she's not sure what she wants to do. And of course, now when you're 50 years old or in your 50s, you start to thinking, I'm too old. I don't know what to do. And get scared. I told her, do it scared. Go do the thing. So what message would you have for somebody like that?
Do it afraid. My mentor told me, and it's a person you know, so I can put her name out there. One of my mentors is Regina Wharton. And every opportunity that I had to be able to pursue a role that I did not think that I was good enough for, she said, do it afraid. Every time I was making a decision to make a career shift or to make a change from relocating in the north to the south, do it afraid. And it just kept coming up. So every time that I start second guessing myself, I just tell myself, do it afraid. And you know what? Every time that I have done it afraid, the outcome was exceedingly and abundantly above all I could ask or think. Because there's two things that God said to me. Anytime that I am making a very, very tough decision, I always go to God first because I need that wisdom. There's a message that God always tells me, and it sticks with me to this day. It is, you can be comfortable without me or uncomfortable with me.
Say that again.
You can be comfortable without me, without my guidance, without my wisdom, without my protection, without my covering, and without my provision. Or you can be uncomfortable with me, with my provision, with my protection, with my grace, with my abundance. It's up to you. And what happens is the comfort becomes the enemy of what we're trying to do because we tell ourselves the lies that are not true. And once we get in there, and if we can just get past that and just do it afraid and put one step in front of the other, you will see the fruits of your labor as well as everything that God promised you. If you're a believer, everything that God promised you will come to pass. But it's up to us to do it.
Yes.
Even if we do it afraid. And recognizing when you have to step out as you grow, some may go.
Yes. Because you can't carry everybody with you anyway.
With you.
Yes.
That's right.
Because, hey, the eagle, you never see a pack of eagles together.
Never.
You will never see a pack of eagles. Look up in the sky. Oh, there's 13 eagles. No, you won't see them together. You will not. And every bird knows when the eagle's around.
That's right.
The rabbits on the ground, they know. Even the fish in the ocean or the lake, they know. Don't get too close to the side. Because look, the eagle got keen eyesight. they can swoop down and grab fish out of the lake or out of the ocean quickly, snatch them up. And now, hey, listen. So you can't have that. When I started this show today, I said after 15 minutes of us talking that I knew our spirits had aligned. Now, you had no idea when I started the show this morning. I did not tell you. You didn't know I was going to give my motivational quote for the day, inspiration. I start every show with it. And I did not know, so we did not rehearse this. But if going back to my morning quote of the day, it says, discomfort is always a necessary part of the process of enlightenment. And now here you're talking about comfort. The idea of this discomfort, you got to come out of that comfort zone, because you said you can be comfortable without me and or uncomfortable with me, because being part of that uncomfortable, that's where the growth gonna come. That's where your spiritual growth, that's where your financial growth, your whatever growth you need to happen. That's the growth period. And there is, for example, I'm in the process of this, it's one thing having everything happen and grow in other ways. But I know for my health that I had to lose weight. I knew, had to. Because I believe when people say things like, I need to lose weight, when they put need in there, they're not going to do nothing. They're going to go buy 2 donuts and eat them right now. Okay? They're getting ready to get 5 bags of chips, drink 4 Pepsis. I need to lose weight. Well, come on, walk with me. Nah, child. So all that's going to happen. But when you say I have to, I get to, I will, you put those are 10 toes down statements versus the other kind of, I think I ought to, but I'm not going to do it. So what I do, I had to hire a personal trainer. What did I do? I had to change some things. Quality of life, eating, not dieting, it's a new quality of life, eating more healthy, eating things that I know going to help me, and get out and grind 5:30 in the morning. Because why? That's the best time for me to do it. Because timing is everything. Now, it's uncomfortable for me, but not any longer. After the last 120 days of doing it straight, it's a part of my life now. And that's because you got to come out of that comfort zone. It's going to hurt in the beginning. Absolutely, it's going to hurt. But if you stick and stay, you get your pay. But those people who make excuses,
I love that.
Yeah, you stick and
stay, you get your pay.
You get your pay. You get your pay, whatever the payoff is. And grinding. And those individuals who are complaining about the job they've been on, or you've been wanting to start a food truck. You've been wanting to go back to be a hairstylist. You want to go to barber school. You want to be a landscaper. Whatever it is you have been trying to do to change your outlook versus complaining. Let me just keep it real. Complaining about where you live, complaining who's in the White House, complaining about the government, complaining. When you live in the United States of America, and you can reinvent yourself, reposition yourself anytime you want to step out into that success, you can do that. Come out of that comfort zone and stop making the excuses and make moves on what you're doing. Tell us about that book, and a little bit about that book, and how can people get that book?
So, Success is in Your Reach, Lessons in Life, Love, and Leadership was really, again, centered around the whole premise is you can rise above your circumstances and thrive. And it is my story where I chronicle coming from a working poor family all the way to rising as a corporate executive, but everything that I've learned, all the lessons I've learned in life, in love, and in leadership. You can find the book at Amazon, or you can also visit www.successisinyourreach.com. And if you purchase the book directly from the website, I will be happy to sign it for you personally and have it sent directly to you. You can also visit my website, www.jadagrandymock.com, to learn more about me. I am also a life coach where I inspire leaders to lead with impact and authenticity. And so you can find more information about that on my site. And also, if you are looking for a speaker to inspire your audiences, you can also reach out to me, www.jadagrandymock.com. I am also on Facebook and Instagram, where you can also find some great motivational lessons that I provide during my daily walk. That is an opportunity for me to be able to hear from God, but also to be able to share with you. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Jada Grandy Mock is my handler. SuccessIsInYourReach.com is how you can purchase my book. And you can also reach out to me directly, www.jadagrandymock.com.
And that's www.jadagrandymock, M-O-C-K. So way of .com, reaching out to her. And I love sharing information about that because, listen, we're only as good as the information we have. Oftentimes, that first profession I had as a law enforcement officer, one of the good serving ones, by the way, I was only as good as the information I was given. I didn't know all the solution, but if I got information, now I can help solve crimes. Who broke in Miss Johnson's house, the old lady house down the street? Get information, piece it together, put somebody in jail for it, okay? Now, the same thing in every walk of life. The information you get spiritually is only what you get from the book, okay? But that means you got to get in the book, okay? So no matter what it is, you got to get the information. And so now you all hear a woman who's dropping some amazing information and sharing some nuggets and powerful quotes that she gave earlier. The idea, being comfortable without me, what God may say, or be uncomfortable with me. Because anything that's worth having initially, anything of value, should I say, initially is going to be uncomfortable when you start stepping out. And I hope I motivated somebody to step out this morning, today, to say, listen, maybe I do start walking that half a mile. I can't walk 5 miles, but I can start walking half a mile. I can walk. I ain't got to run. Maybe stop eating all the sweet stuff. Maybe I do need to make some healthier changes because doctor telling you your blood pressure is up, your diabetes is up. There's some things you might need to change, but it's going to be uncomfortable. But what I'm telling you today is to come out of that comfort zone, because when you're comfortable, sometimes we get stuck and we stay there and we complain, and it becomes, because there's a book that says, some of you might know this book, Yea, though I walk through the valley. Okay? I walk through the valley. Okay, the valley is not a good place to build a home. You don't build a condo there because that's temporary. Just continue to grow and challenge yourself to come out of that comfort zone, ladies and gentlemen, so that you can be the best that you can be. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Did you know there's a battle going on inside your gut? That's correct. Good and bad bacteria are battling daily for your health. Introducing P84, Love Biome's brand new awesome product to help your gut microbiome to get in order. Imagine 84 fruits and vegetables grown all around the world in good soil for good health. A 5-year-old, 80-year-old, it doesn't matter. We all have a gut, and you need P84 in your gut to help you feel better, sleep better, and also detoxify every organ in your body. Simply go to MauriceMcDonald.net, MauriceMcDonald.net, and you can order your P84 today to help get your gut in order. Remember, P84, go to MauriceMcDonald.net, MauriceMcDonald.net, and get your gut right today. Hey guys, we're back here on the It's About You radio show, WDRB Media. Guys, listen, it's about you. No doubt. Listen, my guest today has been an outstanding individual. You've been listening to none other than Miss Jada Grandy Mock, a woman of God, woman of professional, has 3 college degrees, ladies and gentlemen, has been a part of corporate America, 27-year career. But her family, her story, she's been dropping nuggets. She came from poverty herself, public housing. I can remember myself, having the government cheese and that, the peanut butter with the oil on the top, and you got to, I'm sure she can relate some of that stuff too. But understand, it doesn't matter where you came from. She's been talking about, it's where you're going. And so in the time we have remaining, of course, she's the author of a book. She just gave that information out. We'll give it out again momentarily. But if you would, Ms. Mock, if you would give us some closing comments that you would like to have my listeners to know, and something that's going to help them grow as well.
Couple of things. One is, as you grow, some will go. Everybody's not meant to be with you on a journey. Second, faith in your future is greater than your circumstances. There are possibilities that await you. Your concerns, whether it's worry or anxiety or even thoughts of you not being good enough, is evidence that there are wonderful possibilities to come. Always hold on to positive expectations. Your faith and envisioning your future has a mindset of wonder and expectation that you and your situation will turn out for the good. You are great. You are loved. You deserve it. And know, God's got your back.
As you grow, some will go. Oh my. That right there is going to be, I'm going to borrow that one, give her credit for that one, no doubt. Listen, growing means you got to shed some things. Going back to that ego and everything else. A snake's going to shed their skin. And it's a painful process. It's a risk because their eyesight is not as good, because the skin is coming off their eyes as well. The eagle has to shed its feather after about 50 or 60 years. They have to shed their feathers. Their beak gets old and they got to beat it off a rock high in the mountain, and it's painful for them. But because of it, and then they got to pluck out their feathers so new ones come. You see, eagle lives a long time. And because that eagle and beak gets damaged, they have to make some growth. Why am I saying that? Because many of you are going through some things. And to grow, there's painful. It's a struggle. It's a sacrifice. It's a risk. And if you don't grow, you can't go up. You got to grow from where you are now. You may have been successful in your career, but your family life can it be real? Your family life sucks. Men, I'm talking to you. You're making 6 figures, you're making 7 figures, but you don't know who your child's best friends are. You spend no time with your spouse. Lady, you say, oh, I'm making 6 figures now, I don't need a man. Okay, hold up, back it up. You were not created that way. You were not created for this, okay? You don't know who your kids are. You can't buy Jordans, 5 pair of Jordans, but you don't know your kids vaping. You don't know your kids smoking weed all day long. You can't buy your love, all that kind of stuff. So I want you to understand that through this process of growing, there will be some challenges. There will be some pain. But I promise you, on the other side, and also everything you've ever wanted, the fantastic John C. Maxwell talks about everything you need is on the other side of pain. Everything you need, your success is on the other side of that struggle. It's on the other side of that pain. So when you're working out in the gym and you got that last rep, that last sit-up, that last whatever it is, you're struggling, that's where your growth is, right there. And how many people start out and then quit? How many people started with me? 5 of us were supposed to go get our master's degree together. I went alone, driving 80 miles one way, 2 nights a week. You start out with people, but you end up alone sometimes. That's growth. Listen, again, please go to my guest website. Go to that website. She said www.jadagrandymock.com. and reach out to her. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her on Facebook. You look her up. Give her a call. Get the book. Put it in your hands. Hey, listen, Jada, we're going to have to do this again. This was just an appetizer.
Yes.
I see we didn't get half of what we need to get through. That's much more. Thank you so much for being with me this morning. It's fantastic. Hey, guys, listen. That's it for the It's About You radio show today. Listen, go to MauriceMcDonald.net. Learn all about your good gut microbiome, because all disease begins in the gut. We will see you next Tuesday morning on the It's About You show on the WDRBmedia.com. We're going to be in the building.